Hey guys, so I'm on today because most people know that the closest to me know I battle with mental illnesses. And I've had mental illness since I was little, pretty much. And I struggled with it throughout my marriage, friendships, family, and everything. And it's been really, really hard. And I've been on a spiritual journey for a while now, and it is like what I needed, what I had to do, and there was no other option. It was either do the bad thing that people tell you don't do because it's not the end of the world or it's going to get better, or keep fighting. And as much as my brain was telling me to not fight for what, it was the other part telling me that I had a purpose. Didn't know what that purpose was, you know, but that I had a purpose. And the only time I felt like I knew I had a purpose when I kept feeling like I was always different than everyone else. Like, why am I so different? Why I feel like I don't belong here, or I'm here for a purpose to do something. And it took me a long time to realize that, that he's been trying to talk to me and communicate with me all my life. But it's like, you feel like you different and you want to be doing something different, and so you figure you'll do all of the bad things that's the opposite of what you're not supposed to do, which led me to in a lot of situations with my trauma. But now I could actually say, because I was disobedient or disobedient and I wanted to be a free spirit and free willing person to do what I want, I did all the wrong things of what I wanted, thinking that was considered to be free spirit, because I didn't feel like I had to answer nobody. I did what I wanted. I just enjoyed life and had fun. But on top of that, it was giving me so much anxiety of the things I was doing, the traumas that caused my life, and just everything. So it was like, I don't understand. Like, why I have so much anxiety? Why I'm so stressed all the time? Why I'm so depressed? Why I'm so angry? Why I'm so sad? Why I'm so, because of all the trauma that was going on in my life. And some of it I could blame myself for, but then a lot of it I can't. I blame the people that allowed it to happen or that hurt me. But I just kept blocking and blocking it and blocking it, and just blocking everything out. And the people that did hurt me, I started, even to got to a point, blocking them out. Like, oh, it was like I forgave them. I forgave them, and ignoring the part of the anger, because you want to just try to see the best of people or look at it like situations happen. You just try to look at things from a different point, but at the same time, I was blocking it because it still was there. It still was there. Might not said nothing to that person about it or nothing, but it still was there. And that's not how life was supposed to be, especially for a child growing up and going through half of the stuff that I went through growing up, and I'm sure everyone has that family that they've been through something, or in their lives, or relationships, or whatever. And that's fine. We all go through it. This is the world we live in. You know, we live in sin. We live, Adam and Eve, that's why it happened, So, yeah, we live in that world. Some people are stronger than others. Some people can handle it better than others. Some people just ignore it every day and just try to move on with their life, and that's fine. That's what makes everyone different. But I also know it's a stigma of mental illness, because people feel like, okay, so what? Everyone is going through that. It's not even a thing. Why put a name on it? It's just, yeah. Right. That's how you distinguish what is what's going on with who, and what people have, by giving a name. But at the end of the day, the stigma behind it doesn't mean it's not true. Everyone is still going through mental illness. Mental illness is no less important than a person with cancer or that's like really sick. Because at this day and age, That's all we have now anyway. Is mental illness or you dying from cancer if you don't kill yourself with having mental illness. So in most cases, even with disabilities, people look at one disability no different than the next. But at the same token, if you got cancer and you sick and you got a sickness, what do you think it's gonna do? It's gonna give you anxiety. It's gonna make you depressed. It's gonna make you all these things anyway. So like, what's the difference? You got some people born with a mental illness. You got some people that just get it over time with environmental, and then it's just, yeah. But either way, it's still there, and it doesn't mean that that person is any less important than the next person, or you think you could treat that person different because you feel like you got all your shit together when maybe you have mental illness even too, and you're just blocking it or not looking at it like that. So we all go through it in just different ways. Some people can handle it, some people can't, and I struggle with mine literally every single day, thinking the life I was supposed to have and live for people or do this for people or do that for people and this and that. That was how I was supposed to do. But all the time it makes me feel uncomfortable. But then I feel like I'll feel guilty if I don't, or I feel like I could save people, prevent them from getting in situations like my life turned out, which and mental illness, but you can't. A person has to save themselves, and I didn't know that. And I think God sent me through any and everything in my life for a reason, whether it be good or bad. I never asked why me, why not me. I have a purpose for you, and you don't see it yet. So yeah, I got to send you to all these special changes. So I had to find him at an early age, like literally early, and I'm not going to be able to go into details of every single little thing I went through growing up or even as into my adulthood, but it all just made my anxiety, my stress, my depression, bipolar, whatever, go up higher and higher to different levels until I was getting to a breaking point where it was like, shit, next, the only thing next is schizophrenia or whatever next, because this is too hard to handle and deal with. Not realizing that he's pulling me closer and closer to what he needs me to do. So I'm going to go through all these emotions and stressors and all these things because we are not supposed to be perfect. We need him. We need to rely on someone. So yes, he's going to send us through all this because sometimes people tend to forget and only know him when they're going through good. But nothing is good. Nothing is perfect. None of that. So yeah. So I never was mad at why things happen in my life, I just tell myself every day, like, I'm sure this is for a reason. This happened for a reason. Whatever roles I played in people's lives or what I did and this and that, it was never intentionally. I suffer with OCD, which is a thing where you make impulse decisions, you do things, and you just, you're not thinking about things. You just constantly do things over and over again, and it become something you're used to doing. It become who you are, whether you like it or not, and as much as I try to fight through it and try not to deal with certain situations and try to avoid it, it still kept coming back, and if you know anything about any of the mental illnesses, it's not as easy as people say it is, and regardless of what medication they think is out there, is nothing to cure half of the mental illnesses that's going on out here. That's just a way for them to make money, but the person's still sick, and that's why so many people are out in the streets or killing people or shooting up school. All these things, this is the reasons why things keep happening, because no one has a cure for it, but they don't understand they do it to us and give us these things by putting us in stressful situations or trying to just live, to afford to live every day, and just like where it leads to drinking, and it put situations where drinking wine and spirits and all these liquor places is every single where they putting all the bad foods in the corner stores, the markets and stuff, and like shooting up things, like, so what you expect? You're going to have all kinds of sicknesses. You're going to have, these kids is going to grow up the way they are growing up. All this stuff is going to continue to happen because this is the world we live in. People are cruel. People don't care, and the good thing about it, you got those people that turn to herbs and plants and natural resource things because they care enough about themselves, or you gotta go out the neighborhood to actually eat better or get what you need, because being in the society where we is, they put you in a situation where you're stuck. So yeah, you're gonna have all these issues. So you could keep depending on them, keep coming back to them, keep needing them for this, keep needing them for that, and it's sad because this is not the way the world's supposed to be. I'm sorry, it's not. Like, people may say, oh well, you know, this is what it is, or they feel like this is not what they want, but they're gonna keep doing it just because this is what is in front of them, because they don't see anything more than that. And it's sad. It's really sad. You know, and it took me a really, really long time to get to this point where I'm at now. You know, like, I had disconnected myself from everybody. I solitude a lot. I'm to myself. I like it just like that because it's easier, because it helps me stay a little grounded, because I'm constantly not grounded because of negativity, people I'm around, things that happen, situations. So I had to take myself out of the problem so I can fix it. You know, no, nothing's ever going to be perfect, but you get to a point, all people are looking for is peace, positive energy, and just to feel like they have a purpose. It's sad that person got to work every single day, do the same thing all over, wake up, go to sleep, to the same thing every day, and not feel like they're happy. What's the point? If all you could do is wake up every day and go to work and to pay bills and take care of all the responsibility, what do you have left? Nothing. Nothing to offer yourself. Nothing to just say, oh, I bought this for me or anything. It's the same. People got to do stuff like that just to feel good about themselves, when feeling good should be natural. Being happy should be naturally. It should be. But that's not how the world, the society, the governments, the president, that's not how they want it to be. And if you don't open your eyes and see that this world is just corrupt and this is not how it's supposed to be, because this is not a world of God. This is a world of man-made, of stuff that they made. So yeah, when you feel like you're going through situations, trust and believe God is every day finding a way to get you out of those situations, whether you see it or not. It could be the smallest thing to the biggest thing. Appreciate certain people that's around you, especially if it's positive. They're not doing nothing to bring you down. And I'm not going to say all negative things are bad too, because sometimes somebody telling you something negative because it could be a good thing. It's just how people look at certain situations. But I chose to change and realize that person that I kept telling myself that I feel like I don't belong here and that I have a purpose and I'm here for a reason, is it something else I'm supposed to be doing, doesn't mean that I have to ignore those things, because if it keeps coming back to you, it's like an intuition. It's something you're going to constantly feel. It's your gut feeling. That's all God trying to communicate with you. But don't think as everything that God tells you to do is always like a good thing. Sometimes he can put bad situations in your life too to help you do better. Every experience, every life change, every growth, every development, everything that people go through in their life from the time they in that womb until they come out, whatever sickness or whatever issue they have, it was for a reason. And I know that's a hard thing for people to look at when they have kids, like, oh my God, what's wrong with my child? My child is in there. They're a blessing. They're a blessing for a reason, and they're put in your life for a reason. And everyone is put in everyone's life for a reason, you know. And these are things I've learned over time. Like, people will come to me and say, you're such a good person. You have a beautiful smile. How you look at the world, how you see things. And things that I see is the opposite of how most people see them. You know, everybody don't see things the same way. And I'm one of the ones, like, a holiday is man-made. I don't believe in it. I'm one of the ones that is no such thing as you can't ask a person to marry you if you're a girl. I'm one of the ones that see the opposite of everything, because just because someone made it that way or put a word in a dictionary or did this and this and that, don't mean it has to stay that way, or you have to think that way all the time. And if you don't think differently, that's why the world is going to always get you, because you don't try to think out the box. When that COVID happened, it did not bother me, because it gave people a chance to think out the box or look at things, situations different. I'm not saying that it was the greatest thing, but in some people's lives, in certain situations, it was definitely needed. You know, it opened up a lot of eyes for people. It made people think smarter. You know, even though we still making stupid mistakes out here, but still, it takes time. Life takes time. And how you choose your life to be is totally up to you. Nobody should be able to make that decision for you. And it's sad that it's so many rules that is broken, or they want people to live by, but then the people that's upstairs don't live by the rules neither. The people that's in charge supposed to be taking care of our communities or our world or this and that, and they break all the rules all the time, but then they always want to give these rules, you know, and that just don't make sense to me. You know, I believe that when he first decided to make this world, it was supposed to be a world of paradise, but it became a world of sin. So people try every day to find that piece of the little world that's supposed to be all the time, every day. The more and more challenges people go through in their lives and mental illness and so that, they decide like, okay, enough is enough, or go through enough to realize like, all right, I don't want that world no more, or I don't like that life. And that's the point I got to like a breaking point. I got to a breaking point, like I'm tired of people keep fucking messing over me. I'm tired of people keep bringing negative energy around me. I'm tired of people keep thinking they can say what they want and do what they want, treat you any kind of way they want, disrespect you and this and that. And yes, you're supposed to forgive, and I do forgive. I am a very forgiving person, you know, but I also don't have to continue to be around certain situations or people anymore. And just because family is family doesn't mean that you obligated and that you have to, just because you're blood. We only here put on this earth for a little while anyway, in images or whatever forms that he put us on. We are not supposed to feel like that just because we have to be a family member or something like that. We have to be treated any kind of, no, it does not work that way. I decided to remove myself out of people's lives that was bringing me harm, negative energy, judgment, all that, because I am not that person. I am not of that person. And I tried so much to stress to people that you won't get that from me. You gonna get the real is real. Like, I don't know no other person to be. God made me this way for a reason. I tried my best. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But I'm on my best to do whatever I need to do to live as much as good as possible. And I had to get up to a breaking point in my life to realize that enough is enough. I will not tolerate. I will not put up with certain stuff no more, or whatever. I get it. No one's perfect, and that's fine. So be it. But I choose to not be around it. And God will remove me every single time when He feels my energy, because it is not hard for me to observe something or to feel energy, a certain thing, or not. It's not hard for me because He gave me that gift purpose for reasons, which He gave me so many much other gifts. So it's for people to take the time to actually listen, you know, to what it is that you're supposed to be doing. And as much as I battled in the beginning about wanting to live in nature and meditating all the time and doing yoga and trying to live life like I'm supposed to, studying chakras, crystals, and all that stuff to bring me some type of connection with myself spiritually, feel grounded, feel connected, feel like I'm in alignment with my life and everything. And meditation really helps. If you really do it, it really helps. Yoga helps the body too. Studying chakras helps with the alignment and your will of your spine. It helps you learn to get better with your third eye. It teaches you so much. And crystals and all that stuff, just having it around just like as a reminder of what you need to be doing to stay focused. That's all that stuff is. Y'all expecting all this other stuff like, oh, well, I don't feel nothing. It's up to you. It's mental. It's a mental thing, you know, that you have to learn to do it. And eventually over time you get better with it. You know, these things just don't happen overnight. Everything is like training or like, you know, just keep doing it. And it's not easy for me. Every day I still get in my little moments, but I have now resources and things in my life to help me say, all right, get to this and just, you'll get out of it. Get to this and do this. Listen to this song, because music is definitely therapy for me. Listen to this and do this and listen to that. And people may not understand it, but I do. That's how I gain my connection with Him all the time, because He communicates with us. We just have to listen. And that's what I do every day. I try to listen. I'm not always perfect. I'm always not right on it. I still go through my days, but each day I never give up. I never feel like he's not beside me, even when I'm going through the worst. Sometimes he wants us to go through that because that shows how much we need him as long as we call out to him. But trust and believe, I have nothing against any religion. I do not care about religions. Shit, I'll practice all of it as long as it's going to get me to where I need to be. That's all the point is, and that's all that matters. I do not need to go to church to have a connection with him, because guess what? Church is not always the greatest place, and you can't trust everybody in it. But trust me and believe, I go there to listen to Pacific the Word, and I make sure that wherever I'm going, that I did a little research on the person who's up there. And even if that person is not always great, because again, no one is perfect, it's about the Word. But most of the time, I get whatever connection that I found when it came to God is the connection he gave to me. It's that intuition feeling that you get, that feeling that you feel in your body that is hard to explain. It is either going to make you smile or it's going to make you cry. But I got to a breaking point. Whatever I had left in me, I was going to keep for myself. I couldn't stand another heartbreak or anything because I didn't have nothing else to give to anyone else. I was getting to a point where, you know what, there's no point of me being on this earth because I feel the way I feel every day. This can't be life. This is not supposed to feel this bad. It hurts too bad. So I learned to realize, like, I got to change. I got to stop making excuses. It's not going to be easy. I got to do what I need to do. And I feel the most connected is when I am in nature. I love horses. I surround myself with everything that's going to bring me some type of joy and happiness in my life. Even if that means distancing myself from the people that's in my life, so be it. And if they care that much about you, they will understand your journey is your journey. It should take as long as you need it to take, and whatever it is that you need to do to get better, because there's nothing wrong with that, because that's what most people need to learn to realize. Put yourself first. Self-care is not a bad thing. It is nothing wrong with self-caring for yourself or solitude or whatever it is that's going to get you to where you need. You're no good to no one else until you are better for yourself. And that's the first most, and that's what God wants. He don't like the fact that everybody's putting everything and everybody and this and that and before him. No, but trust me, you want to feel every bit of it. And I felt every bit of it, but I felt every bit of it in a good way. Even though it's hard and it's struggle, but I know that he needs me to be doing something, whatever that looks like for me, to bring me some happiness and me patience and me understanding, me being kind to myself and me just giving myself the love and care that I need for me. And if whoever is around you does not bring you any purpose or make you feel that way, then that is not the person that needs to be around. But I also know God has reasons for why he had people in each other's life, even if it was for a short period of time or a long period of time. However he thinks that person needs to be there, because he cannot be here completely, but he could send someone else in that place. Because at the end of the day, we are gods. We are all gods. We just in a different image that he needed us to be in, whether it be an animal or whatever the case may be. That's why I do not like cruelty to animals or whatever. God put everything and everybody on this earth. He did not say eat my animals and do this and do that, this and that. No, that's not. But that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother subject, if you know where I'm coming from. But this is why a lot of people are experiencing so much changes, because of the things that's out here that's not supposed to be eaten, that we are consuming into our bodies, and we should not. But like I said, another subject. But I am a journey. I'm in a journey. I've been traveling. I'm trying to get better with it. Camping, all those things that I was afraid to do and that I thought was not the best thing for me to be doing in my life. God has a way for everything to work itself out. He will never give you too much you can't handle. Things you think you can't do, he will put them in your lives and keep showing you and keep pounding on you that this is for you. Or he's going to say this is not for you. So he's going to keep removing it. And whether you keep going back to it, fine, so be it. So now, since you're in that situation and you want to stay in that situation, now I got to figure out for the best way I can get you to listen to me and put you through whatever you need to go through when you get so tired enough to realize, like, that is not for you. Because you're going to keep battling and you're going to keep fighting. It's going to keep being a struggle, and you're just doing the cycle all over again, around and around and around and around. Until you get to a point where you get strong enough to be able to handle situations when they come your way, then fine. But if you're not strong enough, things are going to keep happening to you. And it's not going to always you're going to get the same result off the same, what I'm trying to say. But yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It's a struggle. It's going to be a struggle, and I know that, but I have faith enough in God to know that He's going to bring me through whatever it is that. But I'm trying to find peace in my life. I'm trying. Yeah, this situation, my phone had got too hot, so I had to record this part over. But basically, I'm just trying to feel grounded and feel some peace in my life and feel connected and not feel like I'm always like not grounded. It's like I feel like a dark spot. Like I'm always in a hole and I'm always trying to get out and figure out a way to get out. And no matter what I do, I feel like I'm still in that hole. But I also realize over time that just because you feel like you're in a hole doesn't always have to mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes you're in a dark hole for a reason because that's the way for you to get out. And that person that you keep trying to be or used to be or is down there. It's not necessary that was your life or that's your life. And chapters happen into people's lives or things change in people's lives. People grow up and change. So being in a dark spot, most people make that out to be a bad thing. Everything you're going through in your life is for a reason. And I know sometimes it's so hard to believe and it hurts and then emotions and this and that. And they just emotions and that's what we go through. And it's a part of life. Sometimes it just means that you need to be closer to God. And I know that's hard for people to leave or when people pass in their life when they're gone, that no, there wasn't ours for anyway. They was just here for a role or a purpose, and we have to let them go. They're going to a much better place than we'll ever be. They're going back to where they came from, So these things may be hard because so many people put their emotions in the midst of things and situations, and it's not easy to not, people have feelings. But you got to look at certain situations, not always in a bad thing all the time. And I done had a lot of situations in my life I can't begin to tell. And He made me stronger every day because He knew in reality I was not going to be able to handle and deal with certain things, And He's made me a stronger person. He makes me a stronger person every single day. And every time I feel like I'm stronger and I'm doing something that I'm not used to doing or I'm doing something that I've never done or I thought I couldn't do, I actually smile like, wow, that feels really good. I'm actually happy. You find whatever happiness or whatever you can get, whatever chance or time you can get it, take advantage of it and just accept it for what it is and appreciate it and do more of it as much as possible. Because once you do it one time, you continue to keep doing it, you'll continue to get the same reaction. And that's how it happens. When people ain't paying attention, it's happening. And I realize that all the time. Like, when I step out and do things that I know I don't normally do and I actually do, I'm just like, wow, that felt so good. I can actually do that again. Like, that wasn't that bad, or even if you don't do a lot that day, you do one thing that day, you can feel good about yourself and say, okay, at least I did one thing. I didn't just not do nothing, and the next day or it'll be better. I'll be able to do two. And you just got to keep doing it. And there's going to be them days it's just like, you know what, I'm not doing nothing today. I don't feel like I don't care. Call me lazy, whatever, so be it. There's nothing wrong with that neither. It's called self-care. You actually taking the time to realize that you don't feel like doing something or don't want to do it. And it's nobody's judgment on you. It's not for no one else to judge, As long as you feel good about it and you don't feel bad about it, that's all that matters. And what nobody else says or think or feel or whatever, that's your problem. That's a problem. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. And that's how I have to talk to myself and learn. Like, me and mental illness been like battling for years and years and years. Now it's like my best friend. Like, it's how you look at situations. And I'm like, yo, may say do this and it may be a bad thing. I'm not doing that. Or it may be a reason why I need to do that bad thing. Like, go ahead and do it so you can get this reaction from it so you'll know not to do it again. Or you'll learn and experience something that's going to help you be a stronger person. So every situation, bad situation that you think is bad or looks like it's bad does not always have to be bad. Saying no is not always a bad thing. And I've learned these things. You tend to learn and grow with these things. And all I can say is at this point that I've learned so much being by myself, taking care of myself, self-care of myself, loving myself, being happy and just growing and going through the challenges and experiences, because at the end of the day, you could be where you at and want to be, but don't mean you're going to not still go through stuff. You're going to still go through things. That's to let you know that, okay, just because I put you in this situation and now you're fine, don't think you don't still need me. And that is just how you have to talk. That is what kids need to hear. These kids that's growing up now, they need stuff like this, in their lives. Because this is their world now. It really is their world. There's so many talented and smart kids out here, but then there's so many kids that's disrupting and that's just terrorizing. But they need the right people in their lives. They need to see the right things. They need to be challenged, and I don't know. I don't know. I've never been a person that's been ever, and that's like God. That's why I know that He is in me. He lives through me because I don't have a bone in me or a bad thing in me to look at anybody bad or be judgmental or act like I understand their situations or just anything. Like, that's why I always felt like I knew I was different. And it kills me, and it's a struggle because I know I'm so different, and I know I have a purpose, and I know it's something He needs me to be doing, but it's like I'm trying to get you to listen first, take your time, not rush into everything or whatever. So He's going to put speed bumps and things in my way, in my situation, in my life, to get me to just quiet down and listen and just pay attention, and not right now, not to do the things that you want to do right now because you think you see them so clearly. Give it some time, because it's going to be something else, and it's going to be something else. Eventually, it's all going to come together. And that is, oh my God, that is how I look at life. And this is how He helps me see things the way I need to see them. And He knows that, oh yeah, she's not going to make a mistake. I already see it. All right, whatever. Let her make a mistake. Be right there to pick her up as He always does. So He'll never turn His back on you. He's never did, because I done been in some crazy situations. Oh my God, from the smallest to the biggest, and He brings me out of it every time. And each time I smile and I'm happy. Like, yes, thank you. You knew what was about to happen, or you knew what I was about to do, whatever the case may be. Well, yes. So me on my journey and living out in nature, because I feel like I'm at my ends with people and things and situations, and I just want to be away from all of it. I don't want none of it. I don't want no parts of it. I just want to be in nature, meditating and do little side hustles that require me not a lot to have to deal with the government. I know it's hard to get around money and government and all that stuff. It's hard, but as possible as I can, I will, because it's not supposed to be like this. I don't want no parts of it. It's all bad. You got to do this to get this, and you got to do that to get this. It's just too much, and it shouldn't be that difficult. So living the life I've lived, every day I'm constantly writing and telling myself this is what I got to do to be safe, this and this and that, and I'm taking all the precautions and doing everything I need to do. When it's my time, it is my time, but I will not go out of my time not the way He preferring me and want me to. I'm gonna go out on His time the way He wants me to go out of this world, and yes, it will be struggle, it will be hard, but I'm going to continue to push through. As long as I know that He is by my side, I should not have any worries. I should not fear or anything. And it's not going to be easy. And for most people, it's probably difficult. Like, damn, I'm surprised. Oh my, look at this video of her. I didn't know she was going through this. Or people needed to really hear this. Oh, this is good. Or it helps somebody else. Whatever the case may be, I don't care. I felt like today I needed to do this and put this out here and say what I needed to say. Some people may like it. Some people may not like it. But it's about, as long as I'm fine, and maybe it can help somebody or whatever. But this is what my journey looks like. How long it looks like this, I don't know, but it's all therapy. Everything I do on a regular basis is therapy for me. It helps me challenge the things I need to challenge to make me a better person. No, I would not be perfect, but to get to a point where I'm at peace, I am happy, I am not sad. And then also know it's okay to be those things too. It's okay. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to be mad. It's okay with all those things. And allow whoever that's going through that to go through those things too, because no one understands no one's situation. And when you're trying to bring someone out of it by just saying certain things that's not what they want to hear and this and that, it's not, it doesn't help the situation. And you realize that over time of being around people or seeing things or people bringing certain things to your eyes or whatever the case may be. Don't mean you're a bad person, doesn't mean you're not trying to help them, but just like, just kind of just listen, and I think people have a hard time with that, listening. They're so busy trying to be biased or using every situation as entertainment or whatever the case may be. And it's not okay, because when you're in your situation, you want somebody to be understanding with you or listening to you, or seeing you, and I feel bad for the situations I put myself in my life that cause the consequences to other people. But I also be kind to myself and understand that what you're going through is what you're going through, and some people are not going to understand it, or some people may be hurt or whatever. That's just how the cycle goes. That's just how life goes. That's how roles are. That's how situations is. It's just a part of life, but the most important is that in that situation, regardless of how hurt you are by what you did to that person or how that person feels now or whatever, at the end of the day is trying to do better and not continue to allow those situations to happen as much as you can control it, because sometimes it is, and it's impulse, and it's just mental illness. It's just all these things that makes life so hard. But it's how you get over it and bounce from it, or realize that it's about your peace too. It's about your happiness. It's about not tolerating anything, not having things in your life that you don't like, having negative energy around you. It's about all those things. It's about feeling grounded. It's about feeling like you have a purpose. It's about all these things. And if you don't take an account for those things, you're going to keep making the same mistakes. No, you're not going to get better. And people are going to keep getting hurt. Situations are going to keep happening. All these things until you realize that either it's you and you need to remove yourself and be better, because at the end of the day, people only going to do what you allow them to do. So yeah, that's a choice I decided to make. Enough is enough. I can't take it no more. I'm not dealing with it no more. I'm not tolerating. I'm done. I'm so done. So this is where it led me to, and this is where I feel the most comfortable, which is nothing wrong with it, because this is the way God wants you to live. It's not supposed to be about all that other stuff. It's supposed to be about just living in a good way, as much as possible. Not perfect, but a good way that brings you peace and comfort. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. If you don't like it, so be it. It doesn't fit you, you don't agree with it, that's fine. This is a part of life. That's life. So if you want to comment, want to ask me some questions, you need to talk to me, communicate. I am not above helping others. That is the purpose. I feel like he needs me to be his other disciple or apostle or servant or whatever you want to call it, however you need to call it. That's how you do it. That's what makes help people. That's what makes the world go around, when people share and help others. And I advocate strongly when it comes to mental illness and disability people and people with other things that can't speak for themselves or can't defend themselves. Understand that? That was the reason why when I wrote my book about my daughter, that was the reason why I did that book. So people can understand, sometimes people can't always say and do the things that you make, but if you listen with your heart. That's the only way you can hear a person and understand or put yourself in their situations or whatever. That way you can understand them better. That way you won't treat people always wrong and mean all the time. You have a better understanding, or treat people the way you want to be treated. So yeah, when I did that book, it was kind of like how a person's mind had to look at the situation, but, and it's the reason why I started the clothing brand, letting people know, unique my way, unique in everyone is unique in their own way, and the other shirts that purposely made, because everyone is purposely made for a reason. And diverse me was we're living in a diverse world, population of all different kinds of people or races or how they look and this and that. So yeah, that was why I started the brand, and I started the book. Was that a part of my mental illness that I went through, where I got to a point where I wasn't selling clothes no more or selling books, because I was struggling. I was going through mental illness, and it was a lot of things I did was off an impulse. I did it. I had a reason for why I was doing it, but it still was an impulse where I couldn't always constantly keep up with. So if you don't really see me selling clothes and doing books anymore, is the reason why. But my brand, my logo for my daughter, and the whole book had a purpose behind it. It was a point I was trying to make, as I said in this video, but it didn't do well. It did okay, and that's because people don't support other people. Black people always say support black people, or that's a cool message, or that's something. But people don't really support people. You know, people just like they live as stigmas because no one supports anyone anymore. You know, it's the world we live in, and it's sad to say, but yeah, that's just the world we live in. But my message that I'm sharing, however I share that, is who I am. It's the person I am. So yeah, comment, questions, ask, whatever it is you need to know. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, however you choose to hit me up. And yeah, so until next time, yeah, I'll probably start doing like some travel videos, or when I start traveling to certain places, or camping now, what it looks like, and just how I live my life on the road and from this day point on. Yeah, because my mental illness and things I've been going through has caused me so many things in my life where I'm by myself now, pretty much. And I'm not ashamed to say that, and it's hard. It really is hard, but I'm finding some happiness, and that's what's important. And yeah, I'll take you guys on my journey. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt, but I'm trying to get better with that too, and just keep trying to make sure I go on a journey in the direction he wants me to go in and what I'm supposed to be doing, and I guess starting today was this video. So yeah, I have other videos on there of my real actual being in mental illness and what I deal with, and you may see it from time to time and you may not see it. I don't know, but follow me on my journey and see how my life turns out, because I think people need to see people in action to really believe that they're not by themselves, or they're not alone, or everyone is going through stuff and it's not easy, and how to really actually get and find happiness, things that make you happy. Even if you could find one thing, continue to keep doing that thing that makes you happy, because then everything else, all the other happiness things will fall into your life too. Surround yourself with people that understand you and get you. Find your tribe. Find those people that you relate to and they relate to you. And remove those people that's in your life out your life, because no one has to stay in your life, no matter who it is. I don't care who it is. So bye bye.